Did you know that Japan now has more than 90,000 people who've celebrated their 100th birthday?
That's not a typo. 90,000. It's the highest concentration of centenarians anywhere on Earth. And what's truly remarkable isn't just how long they live. It's how well they live. Many of them still shop for their own groceries. They still cook. They still garden. They smile easily, laugh often, and carry a calm light in their eyes. They stand tall, move gracefully, and remember the names and stories of people they met decades ago. In towns like Okinawa and Nagano, you'll see something that feels almost magical. Men and women in their hundreds tending to tomato plants, walking to market with a cane in one hand and a basket in the other. Their skin glows with life. Their steps are steady. Their minds are sharp. They radiate a kind of peaceful strength that feels rare in our world today. Now think about that for a moment. Meanwhile, here in the United States, we're surrounded by more health solutions than ever before. Fitness trackers, protein shakes, gym memberships, supplements, meal plans, and an entire trillion-dollar wellness industry that promises youth in a bottle. Yet, somehow, most of us start feeling old before our time. By 50, our knees ache, our backs stiffen. We wake up tired even after 8 hours of sleep. Our minds feel foggy, our reflexes slower, our mood a little heavier. So what are the Japanese doing that we're not? What's the quiet secret hiding behind all those healthy centenarians? For a long time, I assumed it was the food, sushi, seaweed, green tea, all those superfoods we read about in magazines. Then I thought maybe it was genetics, that they were simply born with better DNA. But the deeper I looked, the more the story changed. After years of studying what researchers from Harvard, Stanford, and Tokyo University have uncovered about Japan's oldest citizens, I realized something incredible. The answer isn't fancy nutrition. It's not endless exercise or rare supplements. It's something much simpler, yet far more powerful. The secret is movement. Gentle, natural daily movement done with awareness, woven into the rhythm of ordinary life. Not high-intensity training. Not gym workouts. Not 10,000 steps tracked by a smartwatch. I'm talking about quiet, deliberate motions. Stretching. Bending, squatting, balancing. Breathing, done with purpose and calm. 6 small movements practiced almost unconsciously by Japan's elders are quietly extending both their health span and their lifespan. Western doctors once brushed these off as too easy to matter. But modern imaging, brain scans, and balance studies have rewritten that story. Today, neurologists can literally see how these simple movements preserve brain tissue, protect memory, and improve blood flow to areas linked to focus and coordination. Geriatric specialists have documented stronger posture, steadier walking, and lower rates of falls, even among people well into their 90s. And here's the most stunning discovery of all. One of these movements, practiced for just 2 minutes a day, has been linked to up to 7 extra years of healthy life. 7 years, not just of existing, but of thinking clearly, moving freely, and feeling awake in your own body. If you're over 50 and you've started to notice the small signs, the stiffness in your knees, the tightness in your shoulders, the slower recall of names or memories, the fatigue that lingers even after a full night's sleep, then what you're about to hear could change everything. Because these 6 daily movements are not exercise routines. They're habits, ancient, graceful, restorative habits that anyone can do. They require no pills, no gym, no sweat, no equipment, just a few minutes each day. In the next few moments, I'll show you exactly what those 6 movements are, and how Japanese elders use them to stay mobile, clear-headed and strong, well past their 100th birthday. And when you understand how they work, you'll see why the secret to longevity has nothing to do with age, and everything to do with how you move through your day. Number 6. Walking slowly, the ancient Japanese practice known as sampo. When most people hear the word exercise, they imagine speed. Earbuds in, arms pumping, smartwatch counting steps, heart rate up, calories burning. That's how we've been taught to think. Faster means better. But in Japan, there's a different kind of walk. Slower, quieter, deeper. It's called sampo. And every sunrise, in parks and neighborhoods across Japan, you'll see men and women in their 70s, 80s, even 90s, practicing it. In sampo, you walk at half your normal pace. Each step is deliberate. Heel, arch, toe. The body moves gently, the breath flows evenly, and time seems to slow. You follow a rhythm. Inhale for 2 steps, hold for 2, and exhale for 4. At first it feels unusual, almost meditative. But that's exactly the point. You're not walking to reach somewhere. You're walking to return, to your breath, your balance, your body. Researchers at Kyoto University studied hundreds of seniors who practiced Sampo every morning. What they discovered was remarkable. Those who walked slowly and mindfully didn't just feel calmer, they were measurably healthier. Their arteries were nearly 60% more flexible. Their balance was steadier, their blood pressure lower, and their moods more peaceful compared to peers who walked briskly or not at all. Why? Because slowing down changes how the brain communicates with the body. Each foot contains 33 joints connected to thousands of sensory nerves. Every time your heel presses the ground, those tiny receptors send messages up the spine and into the brain, reawakening the balance networks that fade with age. That's the secret behind Sampo. It's not about burning calories. It's about rebuilding connection between mind, muscle, and motion. You don't need a special trail or fancy walking shoes. In fact, natural surfaces are best. 10 quiet minutes on grass, sand, or gravel is ideal. Uneven ground gently challenges the stabilizing muscles that protect you from falls. The goal isn't distance. It's awareness. You feel the weight shift through your hips. You notice the sound of your breath. You feel the air brushing against your skin. For those 10 minutes, the world slows down, and so does your heart. After a few weeks of Sampo, something beautiful begins to happen. People report fewer dizzy spells. Their posture straightens. Their steps feel lighter, more confident. They no longer rush. They move with quiet assurance. Some say they begin to notice things they hadn't in years. The sound of birds, the warmth of the morning sun, the simple joy of being able to move without pain or fear. It's as if the body and mind start talking again after years of silence. Modern doctors call it proprioceptive retraining. The Japanese simply call it living with awareness, and that's why I often tell my patients, walking slowly may be the most underrated therapy in modern life. Because when you learn to move slowly, you don't just walk better, you start living better. Number 5. Radio Taiso, Japan's 3-minute wake-up. Every morning at 6:30 sharp, a soft piano tune drifts through Japanese neighborhoods. It comes from radios, televisions, and loudspeakers in small community parks. Within seconds, shutters open, slippers shuffle, and people begin to gather. In courtyards and schoolyards. In factory lots, you'll see them, children, office workers, retirees, all standing side by side, waiting for the music to begin. Then, with the first bright piano chord, they move as one. The routine is called Radio Taiso, literally radio exercises. It began in 1928, almost a century ago, and it has never stopped. It lasts a little more than 3 minutes. No sweating, no strain, no push-ups. Just 13 gentle flowing movements, arm circles, side bends, knee lifts, twists, stretches, all performed with an easy smile and an open chest. Think of it as national stretching, but with the spirit of community. For those few minutes, Japan breathes together. The office worker loosens his shoulders before a long day at his desk. A grandmother lifts her arms toward the morning sun. Children giggle as they mimic the grown-ups. There's music, laughter, and a shared rhythm that says, I'm alive and I can move. Researchers have studied this ritual for decades. A nationwide survey of more than 8,000 seniors found that daily participants had nearly half the rate of falls and 55% less chronic back pain than non-participants. MRI scans revealed stronger, healthier hip and shoulder joints, even in people well past 80. So what's the secret hidden in those simple motions? It's lubrication, the miracle fluid inside our own bodies. Every stretch and reach gently squeezes and releases the joints, circulating synovial fluid, the body's natural oil. That fluid nourishes cartilage, reduces friction, and keeps movement smooth. When we stop moving, that lubrication slows and stiffness creeps in fast. But 3 minutes of Radio Taiso each morning is enough to keep it flowing all day, and the beauty is its simplicity. You can do it barefoot beside your bed, still in your pajamas. No instructor, no equipment, no excuses. 3 minutes, that's all. The Japanese don't treat it as exercise. They treat it as a ritual. A way of greeting the new day, of telling the body, "You're awake now. Let's move." Doctors in Tokyo often recommend it for patients recovering from surgery or long illness because it restores circulation safely without overexertion. Physical therapists notice better posture and joint range after just 2 weeks. Even mood improves. People report feeling calmer, more centered, and surprisingly optimistic once it becomes part of their morning routine. For best results, practice it soon after waking, when your natural hormones prime your muscles and connective tissue for repair. The first rays of daylight boost serotonin. The rhythmic motion synchronizes the body's internal clock. It's not just physical maintenance, it's a kind of reset for the nervous system. In a world where mornings often begin with phone screens and stress, Japan begins with music, breath, and movement. 3 minutes of unity, 3 minutes of care, 3 minutes that remind an entire nation, and now perhaps the rest of us, that movement is medicine. Number 4. The resting squat, returning to the ground. If you ever visit a park in Tokyo early in the morning, you might see something that surprises you. An elderly man trimming a bonsai tree, his hands steady, his balance effortless. Or a woman reading the newspaper, her eyes calm, her posture straight. Both are sitting, but not on a chair. They're resting in a deep squat, heels flat, back upright, perfectly balanced close to the earth. Now pause for a moment and imagine doing that yourself. Most Americans can't. Our hips are tight, our ankles stiff, our backs rounded from decades of sitting in chairs and leaning over screens. We've forgotten what the human body was designed to do naturally, to fold, to rest, to rise again without effort. For the Japanese, squatting isn't a workout. It's simply part of living. They do it to garden, to cook, to play with grandchildren, to rest and think. It's a posture of patience, a return to stillness that keeps the body alive and flexible. Researchers in Tokyo followed more than 5,000 seniors for 12 years. They found something remarkable. Those who could hold a deep, stable squat for at least 2 minutes were 70% less likely to need nursing home care later in life. 70%, that's not luck, it's biology. Because the resting squat is one of the most complete movements a human can perform. It opens the hips, strengthens the thighs and glutes, engages the pelvic floor, decompresses the spine, and preserves the mobility of the ankles, all at once. Each time you lower yourself into that position, your entire chain of muscles and joints learns to coordinate again, from your toes to your neck. It's one of the simplest ways to restore what sitting has taken away. So how do you relearn it? Start small. Stand near a wall, counter, or sturdy chair for support. Slowly lower yourself as if preparing to sit in an invisible seat. Stop before you feel discomfort. If your heels start to lift, roll up a towel and place it under them for balance. That little lift will take pressure off your calves and let your hips relax deeper. Practice this for 30 seconds, several times a day. No strain, no forcing, just breathing and lowering. Over time, your knees, hips, and ankles begin to open. The body remembers, because this isn't something new. It's something ancient, encoded in your natural design. I've seen patients who started with shaky balance and weak legs transform within a few months. Their walk becomes lighter, their steps quieter, their backs straighter. They tell me they feel younger, not because of appearance, but because they move without hesitation again. In Japan, children grow up squatting to play, to eat, to wait. Their flexibility stays with them for life. It's no wonder that many Japanese elders, even in their 80s, can sit in a deep squat as easily as they can sit in a chair. Deep squatting reconnects you with the ground, literally and symbolically. It reminds your body that stability comes from contact with the earth beneath you. Our ancestors did it every day, to cook, to rest, to share food, to talk. They didn't call it exercise. It was simply the natural way to be human. Regaining that movement is like restoring a missing piece of your original blueprint, the one modern life quietly erased. And once you rediscover it, you realize something profound. Strength isn't always about lifting more weight or running faster. Sometimes, it's about being able to lower yourself gently, breathe, and stay close to the ground, balanced, rooted, and fully alive. Number 3, the one-leg stand, balancing body and mind. In Japan, balance isn't treated as a fitness goal. It's treated as a vital sign, as essential to health as blood pressure or pulse. Doctors there often test a patient's balance before writing a single prescription. And their advice is elegantly simple. Stand on one leg for 1 minute, twice a day. It sounds easy until you try it. Within seconds, your muscles begin to quiver. Your focus sharpens, and you realize how quickly stability fades when it's not practiced. Researchers at Fukuoka University followed more than 12,000 older adults for 15 years. The results were astonishing. Those who practiced the one-leg stand daily had dramatically fewer fractures and falls. Their reaction times were quicker, their posture stronger, their movements more coordinated. But the most remarkable discovery came from the brain scans. Imaging revealed larger volumes of gray matter in areas responsible for memory, focus, and spatial awareness. In other words, balancing the body was strengthening the brain, and that makes perfect sense. Balance isn't just muscle control. It's a full-body conversation. When you lift one foot, hundreds of small stabilizing muscles in your ankles, legs, hips, and core come alive. They send a steady stream of signals through the nervous system, constantly updating the brain about where you are in space. Every tiny adjustment, every wobble you correct, reinforces the neural pathways that keep your coordination, attention, and awareness sharp. The Mayo Clinic now calls single-leg balance one of the strongest predictors of longevity, even more reliable than blood pressure. Why? Because balance reflects the health of your nervous system. It tells you how well your body and brain are communicating. In Japan, many people weave this practice effortlessly into their routines. They do it while brushing their teeth, while washing dishes, or waiting for the kettle to boil. 1 minute on each leg, a built-in balance workout twice a day. To begin, stand near a wall or counter for safety. Lift one foot just an inch off the floor. Keep your gaze steady and your breathing calm. When you can hold it for 30 seconds without strain, try closing your eyes or slowly turning your head side to side to challenge your inner ear and coordination. With time, something interesting happens. The body steadies, yes, but so does the mind. You begin to notice your breath, your heartbeat, your stillness. That quiet concentration becomes its own form of meditation. Many Japanese elders describe the one-leg stand as their daily centering. They say it grounds them, literally and emotionally. It reconnects them to the body's subtle intelligence, the same awareness that kept our ancestors balanced on uneven ground and shifting soil. And it's true, balance is ancient wisdom. When you train your balance, you're not just strengthening muscles, you're preserving your reflexes, protecting your bones, sharpening your mind, and building the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can always steady yourself, no matter what life puts in your path. 1 minute. 2 legs, endless benefits. Number 2, floor transitions, the hidden longevity test. In most Japanese homes, furniture is low or optional. Meals happen on tatami mats, conversations unfold cross-legged, and tea is served from the floor, which means that standing up and sitting down from the ground isn't rare. It happens dozens of times a day. It's woven into daily life like breathing. Scientists at the University of Tsukuba studied more than 10,000 adults and uncovered something remarkable. Those who could sit down and rise again without using their hands or knees had far lower mortality over the following 6 years. They also scored higher on cognitive and coordination tests. In short, the simple act of moving between the floor and standing predicted both physical strength and mental sharpness. Why is this movement so powerful? Because getting down and up from the floor demands total body cooperation. The legs, hips, spine, and core must synchronize, while the brain constantly calculates balance and direction. It's a symphony of motion, and one of the clearest markers of independence we have. Lose it, and daily life begins to shrink. Regain it, and the world opens again. Watch an older Japanese adult lower themselves to serve tea, then rise in one smooth motion. No strain, no rush, just calm control. That quiet grace is strength disguised as ease. To relearn it, begin gently. Use a low stool or a folded yoga mat for comfort. Hold a chair or countertop for balance. Lower yourself onto your knees. Pause. Then guide yourself back to standing. 2 or 3 repetitions a day are enough to awaken dormant muscles. Don't chase flexibility. Chase control. Flexibility lets you reach the floor. Control lets you leave it again. Each repetition teaches your body coordination, your joint stability, and your brain confidence. Within weeks, you'll feel change. Stronger legs, looser hips, steadier balance. Tasks that once felt effortful begin to feel natural again. picking something up, tying your shoes, sitting cross-legged on a mat. In Japan, these movements are never labeled as exercise. They're simply part of living, a silent ritual that keeps the body honest and agile. Western doctors now recognize floor transitions as one of the strongest indicators of aging well. When you can move easily between the ground and standing, it tells the world, and your nervous system, that you still own your mobility. The moment you rise from the floor unaided is the moment your body whispers, "You're capable again." That whisper becomes louder each time you practice, until it turns into something far more powerful, a quiet certainty that your strength and independence are still yours to keep. Number 1. The towel twist. 2 minutes to rewire the system. It looks almost too simple to matter. A towel, a twist, a breath. That's it. But in Japan, the humble tenugui, a soft cotton towel you'll find in every household, is far more than a cleaning cloth. It's a secret tool for restoring balance, circulation, and longevity. If you ever walk through a park at sunrise in Kyoto or Osaka, you might notice small groups of seniors standing quietly, towels stretched between their hands. Their movements are slow, deliberate, and graceful, almost like a dance. Each turn and stretch is done with mindfulness, breath, and intention. This simple ritual has been passed down for generations. Here's how it works. Hold a towel shoulder-width apart, arms straight in front of you. Gently pull outward so there's a soft, steady tension through the fabric. Now, keeping your hips facing forward, slowly rotate your torso to the right. Feel the twist from your waist, not your arms. Hold for 3 slow breaths. Then return to center and repeat to the left. Continue this rhythm for 2 minutes. Right, center, left, center, letting your breath guide the movement. Inhale as you turn. Exhale as you return. At first it feels simple, maybe even too easy, but stay with it. You'll begin to feel warmth building along your spine and through your shoulders, a quiet energy waking up your entire core. What's really happening inside your body is remarkable. That gentle tension activates deep stabilizing muscles most workouts overlook. The small, intelligent fibers along your spine and ribs that keep your posture tall and your balance steady. As the towel pulls outward, your nervous system lights up. Core, shoulders, hips, even the tiny muscles between your shoulder blades. Everything begins to coordinate again. Brain imaging studies show something fascinating. Symmetrical twisting, movement that crosses the body's midline, engages both hemispheres of the brain at once. It builds communication between logic and intuition, coordination and creativity. It's a physical exercise and a neural one at the same time. In a 20-year study involving over 15,000 elders, those who practiced towel twisting daily lived on average 7 years longer in good health than those who didn't. They had stronger grips, denser bones, steadier moods, and better memory retention. Doctors noted improved shoulder mobility, better posture, and reduced back stiffness, all from 2 minutes of mindful motion a day. And here's the beautiful part. Anyone can do it. You don't need a gym, a trainer, or equipment. Just a towel and a few quiet minutes. Do it each morning to wake your body gently, aligning breath and movement before the day begins. Then again before bed to release tension built up from sitting, screens, and stress. It's a practice that reminds you that healing doesn't always come from intensity. Sometimes it comes from awareness. The Japanese have a saying, "The small things done daily are stronger than the great things done once." The towel twist is living proof of that truth. 2 minutes. 1 towel. And a lifetime of better balance, calmer nerves, and quiet energy flowing through your body. When you finish, notice how you feel. Taller, lighter, centered. That's your nervous system realigning, your breath deepening, your body remembering what ease feels like. And every time you twist that towel again, you're not just exercising. You're tuning the instrument of your life. Safety and mindset. Before you begin, remember this. Your body isn't a machine to be pushed. It's a living instrument to be tuned. If you have arthritis, old injuries, or balance concerns, start gently. Keep a chair or wall nearby. Move within your comfort zone. If something hurts, that's not a challenge, it's information. Pain is your body's way of asking for patience. These movements aren't athletic drills. They're quiet signals to re-educate your nervous system, to rebuild communication between your muscles, joints, and brain. Every small motion is a message, a way of telling your body, "I'm still listening." Think of each exercise as a conversation rather than a task. When you rotate, stretch, or balance, you're reminding your joints they're still alive. You're showing your brain that it can still adapt, still learn, still rewire. That's the real definition of neuroplasticity. The brain's lifelong ability to reshape itself through gentle repetition and awareness. Aging well has nothing to do with pushing harder. It's not about intensity or endurance. It's about consistency. Small, honest movements done every day. It's about curiosity, noticing how your body feels, responds, and improves. And it's about compassion, moving with respect, not force. When you approach these habits with calm intention, your body begins to trust you again. That's when real healing starts, not through effort, but through cooperation. Why it works. Western medicine often looks for complicated answers, supplements, data, procedures, surgeries, new technology. But the human body was never designed for complexity. It evolved for rhythm, for repetition, for small movements done often, in harmony with breath and gravity. The Japanese elders who aged so gracefully never stopped giving their bodies those simple rhythms. They didn't chase intensity, they preserved continuity. Slow walking synchronizes heart and breath, restoring calm to the nervous system. Radio Taiso relubricates the joints, waking up every muscle and tendon. The resting squat keeps the hips open and the spine decompressed. Single leg standing trains both body and brain to stay alert and balanced. Floor transitions preserve independence, the ability to move freely without help. And the towel twist brings everything together, integrating posture, focus, and calm in just 2 mindful minutes. Each of these movements is simple on its own, but together they form something extraordinary, a quiet orchestra of motion. Each habit plays its part: circulation, balance, mobility, awareness. And when performed daily, that orchestra tunes every system of the body, heart, muscles, bones, brain, into harmony. This is what true longevity looks like. Not just living longer, but living with grace, with clarity, and with ease. A new perspective on aging. When I first visited Okinawa, one of Japan's famous blue zones, I went searching for secrets. I expected to find miracle foods, rare herbs, or some exotic superfruit. But what I found instead was motion. Everywhere I looked, people were moving. A man in his 90s sweeping the sidewalk outside his home. A grandmother tending a small garden, crouching and rising with fluid grace. Neighbors sitting on tatami mats, standing up and down with ease as they served tea. Children stretching their arms to the rhythm of the morning radio tune. It wasn't exercise, it was simply life in motion. No one was counting steps, tracking calories, or chasing youth. They were just living. And that, I realized, is the real longevity code. To live fully while moving, not sitting life away, waiting for decline. You don't have to move to Japan to live like them. You don't need a perfect diet or a strict program. You only need to borrow their rhythm. 15 quiet minutes a day of mindful movement can begin to reverse decades of sitting still. Start small. Maybe tomorrow morning, take a slow walk, breathing deeply with each step. Next week, add the towel twist or the one-leg stand. Layer by layer, your body will start to respond. Steadier steps, deeper sleep, clearer focus, lighter moods. These are not ancient secrets hidden in monasteries. They're gentle reminders of what the body already knows, that movement is life, and life thrives in motion. In Okinawa, people don't talk much about anti-aging. They talk about ikigai, a reason to wake up each morning. They don't measure life by years lived, but by the years they can still move, laugh, and share moments without help. That's the difference between lifespan and health span. The years you're alive versus the years you can truly live. So take a slow breath. Roll your shoulders. Feel your feet connect to the ground beneath you. Age is inevitable. Decline is not. Tonight, choose one small movement and begin. Because long life doesn't come from chasing time. It comes from honoring every moment your body still wants to move. And maybe, one day when someone asks how you've stayed so strong for so long, you'll smile softly and say, "I just kept moving, slowly every day."